Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Yet again, we find ourselves at the end of a day here at the Incheon Group Stage. Day 2 getting ready to get wrapped up. We get to see South Korea one more time before we go. And then, of course, another day tomorrow to close it out, to really figure out and finalize who's going to be advancing on to BlizzCon.
It's a very exciting match we've got coming up. It's the last one of the night. Before we get too deep into it, we're going to take a look at today's standings, and the final standings, of course, of the group heading into this final match.
Yeah, after, especially the Finland-Russia match, things getting shaken up quite a bit. Russia is still going to be in that second place spot. Finland just a little bit behind them. So some external work needed to be done from both of those teams. Russia still has to square off against South Korea, of course, and that is going to be a pivotal one for them if they want to go to BlizzCon. But South Korea right now sitting nice and pretty in that first place spot, looking to add another win to the table, whereas Japan, they want to get that upset. They want to move to that 2-1 scoreline, get some points on the board, but right now they have that completely neutral 0 as their map differential.
Here's, of course, our final map of the night, or sorry, final series of the night will be Japan versus South Korea, but here's kind of an overview of what we've seen already today. I think definitely the highlight match was Russia versus Finland. Because of the win there for Finland, it puts them in pretty prime position to take second place in the group. Again, there's been a lot of discussion about this. We're not saying that South Korea has already guaranteed their first place spot, because they have not. But I'm just saying, and something that we've been discussing throughout this group stage is, in terms of power rankings, upsets will need to happen in order for those what we just set up to be toppled. So one of these upsets could be Japan versus Korea.
I mean, Russia's going to have to be gathering all their energy, getting ready to take down South Korea. But for now, we'll get to see them take on Japan. But first, let's go ahead and introduce the team. So Malik, take it away on the floor.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, watching at home and here in Incheon, get ready. It's time for our final match of the night. We got Team Japan going up against Team South Korea. Now, for those of you who haven't been keeping up, Team Japan won their first match of the group stages earlier today. And in order for them to keep their momentum and possibly make it to BlizzCon, they've got to go through the home team, South Korea. So let's not waste any time and get these teams on the stage. First off, please join me in welcoming Team Japan. Right. And as you can see, Claire here showing off his country pride with the Japanese flag. But next up is the home team, the #1 team right now in the group stages and the reigning Overwatch World Cup champions. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Team South Korea. All right, more country pride here as Carpe is donning the South Korean flag. And guys, this is a big match, because if Team South Korea wins, that will make them 4-0 on the group stage and pretty much solidify them that #1 spot. And of course, Team Japan, they're fighting to stay in for BlizzCon. So without any further ado, let's get ready for this matchup and send it on over to our casters.
Thank you very much, Malik. You can see there the Japanese flag, much larger, so some intimidation tactics coming out from Team Japan. But size doesn't always matter. It's going to be about the effectiveness here, and Carpe is going to be showing that Team South Korea, they have the unity there, they have the teamwork to push past and get that win on the board.
News, up-and-coming star player Depp, I think, is the one that everyone is looking at on the side of Team Japan. So we'll probably see some Widow duels between him and Carpe. We will, of course, potentially see those McCree duels, depending on what map we end up on for Control. But this has always been a long-standing rivalry between these two countries in terms of sports. If you talk about, the soccer matches that happen here in Korea, World Cup qualifiers there's a big rivalry. It always has the biggest turnout in South Korea to watch. And it's very exciting whenever these two teams get to match up in esports as well. So exciting that they're in the same group. This is Team Japan. They're donning the samurai blue jerseys here. Again, going back to that old soccer style. That's where this kind of color scheme comes from. And it's all about, I think, Depp here, Amaken had a fantastic Genji performance earlier today on Anubis, but the synergy here around Depp, getting him into position, allowing him to do massive damage, has been where Japan has really been shining.
Yeah, so we'll see how South Korea is going to stack up against these guys. Japan, they haven't had as much success as we might have anticipated, but this would be the biggest time for them to kind of come together, culminate. They are that pre-existing team that from their organization playing in Pacific, where they're waiting to play in their grand finals.
Yeah.
Taking down South Korea would be a huge wave of momentum to go back to their championship and then try to take the whole thing.
I mean,
but
it would be,
these are the juggernauts.
It would be, they would be able to do what no one has ever done before, defeat Korea in group stage, and they would do it with the crowd cheering against them. They would do it in Incheon here, in South Korea itself. We're going to be starting things off on Nepal. So this is going to be a map that has a little bit less Reinhardt Zarya outside of Village. Very possible we will see Depp on that McCree, but the Widowmaker is going to be very viable here as well as Dive. So Nepal ends up being a map that can utilize all the different styles South Korea has shown so far.
Yeah, I mean, this was what we saw the final round versus Finland just yesterday. The clutch finish for South Korea to still remain undefeated. Of course, the map loss is coming through, but not going to be the series. Let's go ahead and kick things off. Last match of the evening, guys. Japan versus South Korea. We're going to be moving into Sanctum.
And it is going to be locked in already. Depp on the Widow. We've seen a lot of Orisa here. And it is going to be the team that controls the point first, depending on composition, can really snowball things. If you're running the Orisa comp here, you can prevent people from joining onto the point. You can set up a really nice barrier. It's getting onto the point itself. That's the big challenge. We'll see if these comps end up being real or not. South Korea will change fate onto the Orisa. It is going to be double sniper Orisa for South Korea. And on the side of Japan, we will have that Pharah to start things off, with Depp bringing out his signature Widowmaker, getting into position to surpass the barrier. Getting around what Fate is setting up is going to be the big challenge here for Depp. Second challenge will be winning the duel against Carpe.
Well, already, he's trying to scout out, misses that shot. Be skirting around the side, grapple hook, take him over. Be spotted out. Depp, though, not going to be nailing that headshot. He'll be fine for the moment. Libero up close and personal here with the Hanzo. Getting those arrows in. Storm going to be drawn out. Depp manages to find Jonak. First kill coming in. Japan taking the lead, but can they get the cap? This is going to be the question. Tayo falling low here with his HP, but going to get pocketed back up by Claire. The rest comes out from Arc onto Jonak, but he's going to go straight back down. Depp finds him again, and Meko is taken out of the suit. And now finds Carpe. Some exchanges back on both sides. South Korea trying to get that cap, trying to posture forward, but the rest of Japan is spilling forward, trying to turn things around. It seems like they will be able to do so. So Japan drawing first blood and locking another point first.
Really good plays here by Kenmo to split the team in half. After the initial pick there onto Jonak, Depp just stays in control because Kenmo gets into position to make sure that there's no one who can get on his back. Carpe can't do anything in line of sight. There's no dive on the side of South Korea with this comp, with the exception of Meko, who's the only real mobile tanky hero that can get on top of Depp. So Depp just controlling line of sight, going to take an opening shot here, move back into a safer location. On the attack, slow-moving Orisa here is going to struggle to get anywhere near Depp, so it's going to be on Carpe to somehow find line of sight.
And Supercharger ready to go here from Fate, but needs the rest of the team to group up. Goes ahead, throws that one down as they try to get the flip through. Over halfway on that cap, but the shots coming down the rocket, getting rid of that Supercharger. Tayo's gonna get popped out of his mech. Dragon Strike gonna be rolling in from Libero, but not finding a whole lot. But Meko going forward, manages to get rid of the baby demon. Now it's gonna be Kenmo falling as Carpe finds that shot. Depp manages to get Jonak, but Claire will be taken down. There's no res here. The flip will come through. South Korea gaining control as Japan hits 43%.
Meko's super low on health, but survives through the pocketing there of Arc and Jonak. They brought the fight to the tank line of Japan, got the barrier set up so Depp couldn't win the Widow fight, even though he eventually was able to sneak around to get Jonak. Too much damage was missed in the interim. Meko makes the big plays. He's holding the self-destruct here in this choke.
Doesn't have to use it here. Kenmo just going to get taken down, so it seems like a pretty clean push forward here from South Korea. That's something that get turned around, but again, it's actually going to go ahead, use the barrage. Doesn't find much. So gets the res off, puts Kenmo back into the fight, but now Tayo's going to be taken out of the mag and he gets eliminated. South Korea Still able to surge forward.
And even
That
though
mega pack, Hulk comes down, and Carpe has the shot on the deck.
even though they don't have a Winston here, they can set up, or a Ryan in this choke, they can set up with the Orisa, use the barrier, and because Mekko has a self-destruct, he can play so far forward because he knows that if he gets demeked for any reason, if he ends up getting discorded and they're able to break him out of it, he can just remeg. And with Arc on the Mercy, you get an easy res onto Fate, who comes right back with his armor, so breaking through this for Japan is super difficult at the moment.
Right up into Carpe's face, almost finds the shot there on the depth as he comes inside the corner, but Mekko with the self-destruct will get rid of Kenmo yet again. Now Korea able to play so far forward, so aggressive here from this squad. They have the Orisa barrier.
Self-destruct to try to open this up.
Cross into the back, but they go ahead, kite around the side. Fate takes a bit of damage, but manages to stay alive. Carpe getting zapped down. Rocket comes in from Arc, keeping him alive. Takes a smattering of damage. Shot comes down. Let's get the kill there onto the enemy farm, but not going to be able to finish him off. Transcendence is out on either side. Japan tries to get the foot back through. Tayo down to half HP. Pocket coming through. Depth's going to be eliminated. Carpe comes up with that 1v1 win. Barrage in from Emiken, looking for the hits there. Gets Fate, gets taken down. Carpe lines up the shot as he's sitting nice and still for him. Takes him out, and now it's 97% here for South Korea as they look to take the first round.
They will certainly take it, and Amiken was asking for trouble. He was running the Pharah. He had to use the self-destruct, first of all, from Tayo to get into the map itself. I mean, they were basically playing out of the spawn. Just going to take another look at Carpe's big blow here onto Sabagad, as well as the Amiken kill there that helped them close out the round. But you're running a Pharah into Carpe's Widow in the first place. He has line of sight advantage. He's going to break through the spawn using self-destruct. They used the self-destruct, so didn't have it for the longer fight. And Amiken is a fantastic Pharah player. We've seen him really excel in this hero throughout the beginning of this group stage here in Incheon, but given the circumstances, maybe a swap could have been warranted there because they had to use so many resources just to get him into position, and even when he was, Carpe takes him out. Now as we move into Village, we're actually going to see a Reinhardt-less composition here on both sides. It's going to be Fate going back over to the Wrecking Ball. Let's see what he can initiate here with some of these coverage.
Pile driver coming through. Tayo already knocked down. Below half HP as they try to keep him alive. Carpe finds Claire, however, who is sitting out in the open just trying to keep that Diva in the mech. It's punished for it, so good opening kill here. South Korea should be able to just rotate over onto the point. You can see here, Swap's getting ready to come through from Japan. Not going to be running this Junkrat any longer. Percent very quickly for depth, but we'll just be surrendering that to match the McCree of Carpe.
Looks like they expected perhaps to see a Goats composition coming out, but with seeing the Wrecking Ball, it's going to be a little bit tougher. Amiken again trying to go against the grind here. He's feeling the friction now as Carpe has his number here. Playing the Pharah against such a fantastic hit scan player is so difficult.
Taking it down, Fate. Get locked up, Sleep Dart comes in.
Taking a
kill
nap.
him though. He's still got decent shielding. He's like, all right. Wasted some of my time, but we're still ticking up. The point comes back into the pile driver. And this goes ahead and eliminates Kenmo. Now charging forward, booping everybody. Gildenite comes in, he gets the adaptive shield. In the minefield, kills both of the supports. He dies, but it is worth it all.
Oh, it's certainly worth it. And Amiken again on this Pharah struggles to approach the point. Even Fate at range can do a lot of damage to him, and so this Pharah just isn't working out at the moment. They kept this Ana, despite the fact that it was clearly intended initially for dealing with Goat's composition because they wanted the nano. They could put that onto Kenmo here for the approach, but he's only at 41%, so he's not even really going to be able to build a Primal Rage necessarily here. May want to look for the Electric Cowboy instead. Depp looking for the flank.
Well, it's going to be the nano in onto Kenmo. He's locked up in the flashbang as he just zaps away, trying to get Mekko taken down. They will be able to do so. Jumps up top. For this Zenyatta, but can't find Jonik. It just gets taken out. Jonik actually going to be answering back with a kill of his own. And then finds Amiken. Deadeye comes out. Depp finds Arc, but Carpe finds Depp. It's going to be a bit of a back and forth here. Ring around the rosy, but South Korea is still going to be on top. Still in control of the point as they approach 80%. Now the rally going to be out for Libero. Pushing forward. Kill comes down. Sabagad going to be eliminated. Jonik hiding into the corner. Feels the pressure. Has to pop the Transcendence.
Yeah, but, you know, they hold onto the point. It ends up being worth it. Carpe still has line of sight advantage. Fate makes it so difficult to approach this point. Flashbang has to be used in order for Depp to survive, but Fate's just playing aggressive because he knows he has an adaptive shield if he does commit into the fight. Backs off now. Meanwhile, still point held by South Korea. Mekko has the self-destruct.
This is pretty much it. They have to try to get in here, but Savagod's going to be taken down. Deadeye here. Carpe drops in, finds the hit there on the Depp, eliminating him. Tayo's been taken out of the back. That should just about be it. 2 rounds very swiftly going over to South Korea as they take the win on Nepal.
South Korea has defined what it means to be a Wrecking Ball team here on so many different maps now and against multiple different compositions. Normally using it against the GOAT style or the more tank-oriented play, like what we saw from Team Finland just yesterday. But tonight, even against Japan, against the McCree Farah comp, they find success. They gatekeep Team Japan from entering the point. And it's just really unfortunate for Japan that they seem to be hung up on this Farah pick because it's not able to get in and do damage when you've got Carpe on the other side. He's got line of sight advantage. We saw the Nano Boost get tossed in there onto Kenmo, so that maybe he could build a Primal and start to open up that point. But JONOK's always good at hitting the right Discord target. They never were ever really able to one time put Carpe into a position to where he couldn't have free reign of doing damage.
Yeah. I think one of the most concerning things about this for Team Japan is that they are a unit. You know, they are playing together. They are all in the same organization. But Korea is showing more synergy. They're showing more cohesion in their playstyle here. Depp had some good moments on Sanctum, especially with a Widowmaker, getting those opening shots coming through, getting some kills on the board, eliminating JONOK. But there's no further follow-up, really. And it's just been rough tidings for them here. I mean, getting crushed out, especially there on Village, 100-0 in the end for the 2-0 to put the first map win on the board. It's not a good look for
Certainly
Team Japan.
not.
They want to have that upset. They want to keep their hopes alive so they can go to BlizzCon, represent their country, try to find success, internationally in America. But here in Korea on the home soil, it seems like that home field advantage is really playing up for these guys.
And now they're 2 map losses away of not going to BlizzCon, so pressure is mounting. They clearly had a plan going into Nepal. We're going to take a look at what the next map is going to be as we head into Hybrid. It will, of course, be the map pick of Team Japan. And that map will be King's Row.
Will we ever cast a map on Hybrid that's not King's Row?
You know, it starts to feel less and less likely all the time. What's really scary about this map pick for Japan, though, is this is where we've seen South Korea utilize Wrecking Ball to split up the Reinhardt Zarya composition to great success. We've also seen Carpe find success on Sombra in particular for backline picks, for gaining information. So it's very, honestly, a little bit scary. I mean, it's the common map pick we've been seeing in this tournament, and it's a map that most teams consider to be very neutral. But we already know South Korea is really good on this map, so it's a bit concerning.
Yeah, I mean, you think back to Apex, that was a while ago when it was the 50-50 map. You know, whether you're attacking or defending first, you had a coin flip chance of making it, a victory, but it's not that way these days.
Certainly not, and it is, I think, a map where coordination around the tank line on A is probably more important than any other map, and that's based on the fact that there's 2 main chokes, right? There's the hotel chokes that happen on both doorways, and then of course the choke that leads into the point itself. And when you operate around those areas with AoE damage and or tank ultimates that are a large area, like Graviton, like the Earth Shatter, it takes a lot of coordination to find your way through those. And I think the better team oftentimes does come up ahead here as Ark and friends are going to show off to the crowd.
I like how the crowd is cheering for this nonsense.
So far, it looks like South Korea wants to run the bread and butter standard Junkrat Orisa here. It's very good against GOATs, for example. Even if they fear Amaken's Farah, they have Carpe to shut that down as well. And for Team Japan, unless they change something up here out the gate, which they will, I was going to say it's a little bit concerning to see this coming out, but it will be the Genji instead. There's a lot of ways to build Dragon Blade. They use that deflect.
Gonna be running the Winston here on the attack for now, at least, is Team Japan. Genmo sticking to that pick. They push forward, hide out behind the statue as Depp tries to find an opening shot. Tayo gets tagged up a bit. It will be fine. Again, pushes forward, getting those right clicks in, drops back down.
Doesn't get as much charge as he would have liked to, but can just back away now. As long as he doesn't die, there's always going to be opportunities for that. Fate, though, still holds high. Oh, this is bad.
He's going to be trapped and he's going to get taken out. Libero finds that first hit. Holt comes down, just pinching those tanks together, and Libero is here to pick up the pieces, finds a follow-up frag on Declare.
And this is the final kill there on the Sabaga, but the problem being that trap there, he walked right into it. He didn't build the ult charge he was looking for, and now The Riptire is nearly ready. That's the thing. Libero got so much ult charge from this exchange that the Riptire is going to buy them another push. Amaken is going to switch over to the Pharah, but Carpe's got his number already. How could he ever hope to approach this point safely against one of the world's best Widowmakers?
Well, he's going to try to boop him off, but it doesn't matter.
Temporarily.
And grapple his way back up.
Samagon's down!
I was just going to let it rest. You can take the play-by-play for a little bit here, Wolf, because, yeah, the Hulk comes down. They've practiced this one quite a few times. Pop up over the top, a headshot in on the Kenmo, forces out the barrier. As Carpe pushes way far forward, waving at the pilot. Diva says, oh, you're so cute, Tayo.
And one of the concerns about Japan here is instead of flexing over to the more common Goat's composition to speed boost around, knock the Reese off the high ground, the textbook counter that we've seen used by many teams to try to disrupt this, build an ult advantage, they go instead to Pharah again. This is the third round now we've seen Amaken on the Pharah against Carpe's Widow. And unfortunately, it's just a bad matchup no matter which way you look at it.
Yep, it's proving some limitations here perhaps for Amaken. As we just have some back and forth inside the hotel. Tayo's just going to get taken down. We're nearly looking at the big 6 for South Korea. Fate building up for the Supercharger.
The Riptire just hasn't even been
down.
necessary. You know, given this situation, they haven't even had to pull it out, so they have every tool, like you said, with the big 6 to shut anything down. Look at where Carpe's at right now.
Pushes forward fearlessly.
Is he a sniper or a frontliner?
Both?
In this case, I suppose so. I mean, he's the one who's dueling the tank. Fate's like, I can't hit him.
Again, trying to poke his way through here. The Hulk not going to connect onto the pharmacy comp. Jump forward for Kenmo. Not going to find much, and Libero's going to go ahead, draw out the Riptire. Looking for a target. Runs this one high up into the sky, sees the tanks, pops that one out. That's going to be Teo. Knocked out of that mech again. Donak finds depth. Carpe is regathering, regrouping here the rest of his squad. Look for the shot, finds the body hit there on Declare. Can't quite get the drop down shot. Mark gonna fall. Ken finds Carpe, taking him down. Now we're gonna see the Transcendence coming out of Savagon, pushes in onto the point. Japan looking for a way to break in here, but the Supercharger's down. Fate dangerously low, throws up the barrier, staying alive, as is Meko. No healers, no problem.
Yeah, I mean, this was just godlike play all across the board. Especially with the Riptire from Libero, he bought so much time there. After this halt was failed, Japan slammed in on top of Fate because they thought, this is our chance, this is our moment to take control of this. The Riptire shut everything else down, and then from there on out, everyone's just survivability there and damage plus the Supercharger meant that Japan couldn't come through. They used the Transcendence, which is the most egregious usage of all of the ultimates on the side of Japan, because now they can't win a sustained fight anymore, and Libero's got another Riptire soon.
Donak with the Transcendence, just gonna be sitting on this one. He's getting zapped low, goes ahead and pops that one out, and Libero gets rid of depth to go ahead and kick things off. Just hopping up his teammates, keeping everybody in the fight. Kenmo's gonna fall. Libero will get taken down by Tayo. Finding one at least, but there's still so much to deal with. Amaken's gonna hit the ground. Let go. We'll just go ahead and spray him down with the left clicks. Dashing forward, trying to get rid of Claire. Takes him low, forces him back around the statue, keeping him away from the point. Kenmo's trying to play forward. The pocket coming in. Just keeping him sustained as best as possible as he leaps into the back. Nearly has that primal rage, but he's not gonna get a chance to use that one because Libero comes up with the 3K.
And that's gonna be the end of it. South Korea will get the full hold here on Japan's attack round. One tick required in order to take this series to a 2-0. Everyone remembers Japan and Australia. That was an incredible series we watched there. Japan was on the brink of going to BlizzCon, but it may not be that same happy ending, despite the fact that, of course, at the Australia qualifier last year, Japan did lose at the end of the day. Yeah. It was an exciting story. We showcased some new skill, some new players, AKTM, of course, being probably the most memorable of that when you think back to last year. But right now, they're on the brink of being eliminated. This is not that nail-biting close series that they had against Australia. This is South Korea with a South Korean crowd. Big rivalry here between the two countries in terms of sports. But South Korea is dominating the competition. Easy hold on A, total domination, and it feels like compositionally, Japan just isn't able to wrap their heads around what they need to do to crack what South Korea is running, to try to crack, honestly, Carpe. And we do see once again the Sombra locked in for start. May just be the scout that caught, but they committed to it last time when we were playing on Kings Row. That was against Chinese Taipei earlier yesterday. But a very similar comp to what we saw them win with. And with how much time they have to just simply get the first tick and close this map out, would not be surprised to see this go the distance to crack what Tayo's got set up on the high ground.
Well, Japan just going to be looking to replicate the success with this comp that we just saw from South Korea. Try to get that rare draw, the Fuller hold.
The Fuller hold, as you and I like to call it. Well,
But seems highly unlikely.
all of this hold, I think, is going to be about Tayo staying on the high ground as long as possible and rip tires from Amaken. Carpe will, we're going to need to see if he drops the translocator in or outside of the main base.
Waiting,
Yeah.
as it's scouted out.
Bionade
Bionade.
hoping to hit that. And it does!
Okay.
Oh my
Has it,
god.
but the leap's not going to be there. They can't get on to that high ground position. Showing off some strats here. Johnny, you've been playing some CS:GO.
Some new tech here
Nice
for you
little,
guys.
little smoke rat got going on with that Bionade.
I don't know if you wanted to show that one here. That's going to be used a lot from now on.
People are going to go ahead and try to replicate that one in their solo queue. Carpe gets the hack in. That's just going to be the spray down. Anakin, however, comes in. Just take down the Sombra. The DMAC comes through. Snapping away. Fate is pushing forward. Looking for Sabagon. The pocket's going to be there. Both supports falling dangerously low, but the passive regen comes in. They're just pocketing each other. We'll be okay. Echo gets taken out of that mech, but Japan's still suffering losses, and Sabagon will fall and Claire just burns the rest, put Kenmo back into the fight. Fate with the primal rage pulls up,
Already.
finds a hit there on Declare, gets him in the corner. Now he's going to be fighting Tayo as well.
Can't get out.
Oh, he waves to him too. Fate, he knows that he's got this one in the bag. Kenmo going to get knocked out again. And South Korea go ahead and close this out here on Kings Row, 2-0 up in this series already.
Crowd goes wild here. South Korea, the massive favorites. And at this moment in time, Japan fans across the world wonder what will it take to break the shell that blocks Carpe from being defeated by anyone that leaps towards him. Accuracy amazing. In this case, he was playing the Sombra. But I mean, we even saw the attempted, grenade there into dive, which I haven't seen myself just yet utilize that way. And you and I have cast a lot of Korean Overwatch, but that was really cool to see. And it's just, you build up so much charge with that as well, even if you don't give it to the dive.
Hitting that many targets, because you know everyone is going to be playing behind that barrier. So you're going to catch like 3 to 4 people.
And Fate also got like the fastest Primal Rage ever, it felt like there. Just was able to do so much consistent damage and block everybody out. Tayo, used his ability to prevent being knocked back, but he was still taking damage, and he was able to crush him there and take the point. So I don't know if Japan comes back. I don't know if we're going to see the Cinderella story come true here.
I mean, it's a really rough position to be in, but we're going to go ahead and hear from Tayo from Team Japan, see what their thoughts are so far. Down 0-2 in this series, see what their mental state's like and whether or not they can bounce back. So Malik, go ahead and take it away.
Very much, Tayo. That was a pretty quick and rough first half for you guys. I want to know, you talked a little bit earlier about how you felt like you guys were somewhat prepared to at least take a map from them, but now that you've gotten out there and gotten kind of a feel for how they play, do you think you were a little underprepared coming into this matchup?
Yeah, of course. We only had like a day of practice, so with this roster, so it's kind of hard, but we need to take a map if we want to go to BlizzCon.
I hear you. And how much is the home crowd yelling and screaming so loud affecting you guys on stage?
It's crazy. Like, you can hear everything. Well, not everything, but like you can feel the crowd, so it's actually kind of hard to play.
Now, I was really interested to see that you guys stuck with Amiken on Pharah throughout the entirety of your first attack push in the first map. What was kind of the thought process behind keeping him on that hero?
So we wanted to play our best heroes for our DPS picks because, Depp and Amiken are both great players on their respective heroes. So we tried to use them at like their max capacity, but we weren't able to crack the defense.
Right, man. And lastly for you, man, what do you think you guys need to do to at least take one map off of South Korea?
Not sure, but we need to step up our tank game. I mean, D.Va's kind of hard, but I need to support both of my supports and my DPS heroes, so for them to actually, get some space and move. So that's what I need to do.
All right, well, Tayo, best of luck to you in the second half. And it is South Korea up 2-0 on Team Japan. Will Japan bring it back, or will South Korea continue to roll to victory? We will find out right after the break. The Overwatch World Cup is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's fastest network ever. And by Omen by HP, the official PC of the Overwatch World Cup.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Man, where has the time gone? We are already halfway through this series. It's a 2-0 lead for South Korea.
Look,
That's what I got. You take it away.
I feel like
Analyze.
hearing from Tayo on stage was, I thought it was like one of the better interviews we've actually had this tournament, because Malik asked him about the Pharah pick. He talked about how they wanted to play their best heroes, because when you're up against a Titan like South Korea, some of his comfort picks are where you really want to go to, because if you're trying to play something more meta, but you get uncomfortable and you're in such a high pressure situation, you can fall off. So it was good to at least hear the reasoning behind that.
Yeah.
Tayo being very humble about how he feels like he needs to improve his diva play, for example. But I think that, we may have that 4-0 for South Korea here. The momentum is huge, and Carpe is killing everybody when he's given line of sight. The protection is real from South Korea, and it just feels like Japan can't even scratch the surface. Here's Carpe's stats here: 2 deaths, period, here with 18 eliminations. So the 18-2, 22% on headshots there, the crits. What are you going to do against this guy if you can't touch him, if you can't get into range, because there's so much peel from Libero, from Fate on the Orisa? He's just going to do insane amounts of damage.
Yeah, I mean, Depp has been able to get a couple picks, mostly under the supports. Like we said, he was able to take down Jonak at the beginning of Nepal, but it seems like when it comes down to that 1v1, there's just so much pressure being applied to him by Carpe that he's not able to find success. He can't quite close it out there. Let's take a little look at the map. So coming up will be Temple of Anubis. It's another one that we've been seeing so much of. We got some Volskaya in the mix, though. When Russia's playing, apparently Volskaya comes out, even though they're not the ones selecting it. But will be Temple of Anubis yet again. But this is still going to be such a Junkrat and Widow-centric map on the defense. So this is still going to be a really arduous task for Japan to try to find success on the assault.
It's going to be tough, but it's going to have to be on the back of Amiken's Genji, I think. Depp's going to have to, on the defense, carry with the Widow. And Tayo, as he mentioned in his interview, is going to have to control everything with the Diva. The Diva is the glue that holds everything together here at Kilios, as that's going to be one of the mobile heroes that can protect the backline on defense. South Korea looking to run the Junkrat on defense as we see Meko headed out of spawn. It's a tall ask to crack this defense with these players that have such experience on these heroes, played in this meta for such a long time. Even at the beginning of Overwatch League, like before all the changes to Reinhardt and before this patch, like from day 1 of Overwatch League to like the end of Overwatch League, this style of play with the Orisa setup with Widowmaker has always been meta. South Korea's played against some of the greatest teams the world has to offer in this sport with this composition, so they're so used to it, they're so comfortable with it. And I think this is Japan's best map because of Amiken's Genji. And that, I think, is the real test. Can he actually defeat Korea here? Can he defeat the greatest team that we've come to know in terms of regular season for now, basically, in terms of this tournament? That's the question.
The fans there, giving their support, know that they are not very far away from having Team South Korea get locked in for BlizzCon. Shot already coming down there onto Amiken, but not going to get taken down. Poison Trap rolls through. Getting a bit of damage in onto him, but overall he's going to be fine. But Carpe finds Sabagods. The same cannot be said for the Zenyatta. Jump over to the side, Carpe on the prowl.
He's looking to see if he can find depth, if there's any angle. Obviously, he can just set up this additional trap.
Definitely, I'm not going to keep that corner. I'm just going to hide over here.
Yeah, if Amiken heads around the other side, he'll know about it. He's going to do the dash to get in here, but he's alone. Just looking to build ult charge, but he's caught and killed. And Kilios, it's not a good look so far.
I mean, can Japan get on the board in any way? We just saw a full hold on King's Row, the 100 zeros on Nepal. Can they get a tick? Is honestly an unfortunate question that we kind of have to ask right now.
Well, in order to do so, I think they're going to have to utilize the Dragon Blade. This is going to be a dive to get Amiken into position.
Shift over the side. Io's there for the follow-up. Cannot get the kill. Takes a little bit of damage on the mech, but otherwise we'll be fine. Just trying to build up, trying to get some ult charge in. can see how far behind they are compared to the South Korean counterpart. 60% here from Meko. Tayo only hit 37.
Something I want to point out that Japan is doing, which is really tough to measure sometimes, is look at the ult charge for Jonak. He's only at 60%. They haven't actually committed anything until this fight that they want to get the Dragon Blade with. They haven't committed that much to damage, so Jonak hasn't been able to heal up to a Transcendence. But that's one of the counters to the Blade they're trying to build. So how they're moving is really specifically trying to get this Dragon Blade ready. The problem is that that last dive that guaranteed it built up enough for a Riptire. Riptire could buy time, then you'll have the Transcendence out. So this push right here is the big one. Let's see if they can pull it off.
So jump onto the top, Amaken's around the back. Deflection going to be used, Dragon Blade going to be drawn down. Dashes forward here, looking for Jonak, but he takes him down! Cuts him out, Dragon Blade's not going to get anything.
Deny the res too!
And now Claire is gone. No way to put him back into the mix. Do you just swap, or do you try to build another one? There's 1:45 left on the clock. It seems like he's going to be sticking with it, but Carpe now finds that stagger there on a Sabagon.
And what a tragedy when everything, watch this moment here. This is the target. Blade to try to trip him up to the side, comes over here, right clicks the damage, left click to finish him off right in the dome. And Achilles, when you've built everything for this moment, the Dragon Blade, you've been trying to pull it off, and Jonak doesn't even need to transcend, he just shoots you in the head. How could you even keep your mental state in the right place of mind after that happens to you? How could you go in and try to build another blade? What a tragedy here for Team Japan.
Absolutely, Carpe looking for the hits. Almost takes him down. Cannot get the execution. Yep, manages to take down Jonak. Tire out though, gonna find Claire, as well as Tayo's mech. Rez comes in, Arc puts him back into the fight. Amaken takes down Carpe. Go to Libero, shuts him down. The concussive mine, so South Korea still in such a prime position to get this full hold.
Looks like Japan is out of steam. They have a Primal Rage and Transcendence to look for a longer fight, and there's no Riptire on the other side. That's the window that they need to make this fight work. It's going to require a kill, ideally probably onto Arc, so he can't get a res.
That or Jonak take him down so there's no Transcendence into the fight, and then try to prevent the res. Push forward. Self-destruct going to be coming out.
Nice catch on
Libero.
Libero.
Okay, so already a good opening here. Claire's going to get the res on to Tayo. Put him back into the fight. Carpe finds his shot. He's got it ready to go. He's like, yeah, I got some infra sight. It's all good.
Amaken's getting
pops it down. Carpe says it's over. Amaken, I have the high ground. Gets the shot. Takes out the Genji. And now Kenmo is dead. South Korea looking to get the full hold here on Japan's map pick. 4 seconds remaining. Can they even tag in? I don't think so.
Carpe waves goodbye. And now all South Korea needs is a single tick to knock Japan out of this group stage. They need this win in order to keep the chances of going to BlizzCon alive. And South Korea just totally shut them down in every way. I think the moment where Jonak kills Amaken as he pulls the blade out, they did everything they could to prevent the Transcendence from being built quickly. He looks for the Zenyatta. He dashes to the opposite direction to try to trip them up. You know, you can see Arc is already there, pocketing Jonak just to make sure that if things go wrong, you get the res. He kills him, the right click into the left click headshot, and then Claire comes over for the res. Claire gets killed immediately right after as well. South Korea, man, they just will not be broken, not in this fight, not in this matchup that's such a rivalry historically for these two countries. And now they're going to be running the dive themselves, you have to think. And this is where we were talking about Amaken being the one who's got the burden on him with the dive. Now it's going to be Depp. Assuming that, well, this isn't real, right?
Probably not.
Okay, I was like, well, I mean, or maybe we're going to see something totally crazy, but...
I mean, if you just got full held and, you know, this is basically going to be the end of the series because it would be the 3-0 for South Korea, so they'd lock in the victory, why not try the Symmetra? But it's not going to happen.
Amaken has been the one to flex over to the Sombra when they are running Sombra in all seriousness, not just for checks.
I mean, he's got to be running it now.
Yeah,
There's 12 seconds remaining, so this is real.
So the onus is on Amaken and Depp together to kill the backline when the dive comes through, get those preventative hacks off. This is going to be a very tall ask for Japan. It's a very risky composition, but if executed correctly, maybe they could tie us up here.
South Korea on the assault, looking for the victory. Just need one tick here on to point A to go ahead, lock in that 3-0. Guarantee the win. But we'll see that there is, in fact, a Sombra. Shots coming down from Carpe, looking for Depp. Careful, hits in onto him. He's gonna be pushing around the side. Sabagod pulling so low. Shield is up, however, from Claire, keeping him alive, but obviously not much self-healing available for that Ana. Would have to use the armor pack over that Bio name, but Depp is gonna die as he tries to go in for the flank. Jump onto the high ground, barrier coming down. Carpe gonna be spraying away, Fan and the hammer. Is dissuading that Winston from pushing far forward. Now the shots are in on Claire. South Korea, slow and steady, wins the race as they try to break open this point. Headshots in, and Moro's gone. And that should just about be it. The tanks are dead, there's no res available. A slick dart to connect onto Carpe, but they can't even finish him off.
Super easy finish here for South Korea on their first push, the last here on Anubis. And it was like he was sent there by a group of Secret Service members. Carpe gets on the high ground. He knows that there's a high chance they'll be running the defensive Genji. He probably expects that will be Amakin, as that's been the standard. But instead, the swap comes through. Depp is on the Genji, but Carpe waltzes up with a Brigida from Libero to protect him. No one can scratch him. Depp goes down, and it all just falls apart from there. Carpe has full line of sight on high ground, kills the Ana there. As Sabagod gets taken out in South Korea with the 3-0 here. They will win this series. And Japan, their road to BlizzCon, it ends here.
Yep. Rough stuff here for Team Japan. Unable to find success. One more chance to just try to claw back a map win here as we get ready to move into Escort. We'll see where they're going to take us. The flavor of the tournament has been Rialto. Do we just see it again, or do we get a mix-up here? Maybe throw in something like the Route 66. We saw the Dorado earlier between Finland and Russia. Maybe something a little bit different, but it's been a whole lot of Rialto, so I'm feeling like we're probably going to see that again.
Yeah, I mean, it's a map that plays into the strengths of Amakin on the Pharah, so you can play that. Depp can play his Widow there, look for the flanks. They could run double sniper instead, which is certainly a possibility. When you do end up with a double sniper versus double sniper sort of setup, which was more common with the Western region than it is in Korea, for example, and in East in general, it does kind of level the playing field in a lot of ways because you can just use ult combos to win a fight using the map rather than your mechanical skills. So that may be one reason why they take us to Rialto.
Well, let's go ahead and find out what it's going to be. The final map here of this match of this day of the Overwatch World Cup group stage, and it's going to be Rialto again. So
surprise, surprise.
Not much of a shock here for us. Rialto will just get locked in again, and we'll see what Japan can get done with this pick. This was, we think back to South Korea's first match here just yesterday. It was a little bit shaky for them on Rialto versus, I believe, Chinese Taipei. But can Japan find some success? Can they get that full push going through and try to take away a victory?
I mean, that's what Tayo said they want. They want a map, and they still have that opportunity here. In this final map of Rialto, morale's got to be shattered. It's got to be tough, on stage, crowds cheering against you, and you've got to find some way on your map pick to scratch the surface here, which they've not been able to do. The O2 on Control, the full holds on King's Row, and onto Anubis back-to-back. It's tough to really find your footing in a moment like that. They will be on attack first.
JJohnNeck, is this real, or are you going to take a dip like Fate?
He does get speed boosted over here, so we can get into a pretty nice hiding spot.
I mean, traditionally, it has been these Zenyatta players that flex over to the Roadhog.
Yeah, that's true. It looks like it is going to, in fact, be legitimately a Roadhog defense with Fate on the Orisa. So you've got the Hulk combos there, and it's just going to be one solo support. Because this comp is so tanky, it's very strong against dive, and it's very strong against Widow if, of course, you can make sure to deny line of sight and make sure that your support line is protected. But we know Ark's positioning is really good. Amakin and Depp on their signature heroes, the Genji and the Widow, out the gates. We're going to go back to what's comfortable. Let's see if they can crack the shell of South Korea.
Pushing forward, the whole rocket's just going to be coming down from Libero as they scout out the composition. Amakin starting to ramp around, throwing out those shurikens, trying to break the barrier. Will be able to do so, and they see that JJohnNeck is going to be over onto the Roadhog.
Ken taking some damage here. Will get pocketed up as they try to swing around the side. Amakin hasn't been able to find any damage just yet. He's dueling with Carpe. Will have to dash away. That's unfortunate to use that cooldown. He needs to be building a Dragon Blade.
That's his way back. Libero spotting them out, keeping them in sight. Depp gets a nice shot there onto Arc, taking him down to about half HP, but passive regen coming through. Arc playing the fire. Skirting his way right past this Widowmaker as Carpe just running away. He's like, please stop. And Libero will make him stop.
Yeah, already used the deflect. No way out of that one. Hit him right in the behind as well. So that's a kill there, forcing out the res. The cart has been halted. It belongs to South Korea right now. Depp caught.
Yep, hook coming down. Shotgun to the base. It's going to be Depp dead. Fate, however, will be traded out. Tayo finds the kill onto the Orisa. Cart still inching forward. Another hook comes down. Sabagon drawn in this time, but he is just going to go ahead and trade it back. Gives Jonak a taste of his own medicine. Libero with the barrage. Pops that one down. Gets rid of Sabagon. Rez will be coming in here, putting Jonak back into the mix.
It's just hook after
Takes
hook
down
here.
Carpe. South Korea still trying to hold this. Self-destruct going up into the air, comes back down. Not going to find a pick, but Tayo makes it into his max safely. Jonak with the whole hog gets rid of Claire. Looking for that hit, not going to find it. Can't take a breather, so he's going to be hovering down around half HP. He's going to need some support pretty quickly here, as he might be falling low.
Team Japan needs to regroup. They're feeding over too much here to the side of South Korea. Jonak is just doing so much damage. Another right-click kill here with the help of Mako, of course, onto Kenmo. And now Tayo may just follow suit.
Question coming down. Jonak going to take the breather. This is back. Gets behind the barrier.
Another
hook comes down. That's going to be the break onto the mech. That's going to be the blade drawn out. Himikini gets shut down immediately.
They just can't do anything here, Achilleos. Tayo's going to be the next to fall. It's another double here for Jonak. And he's just sitting in the spawn on top of the gates. They're feeding over to him one by one. I would wager very strongly that Jonak is by far top damage in this game because he's just right-clicking them to death.
He's got to be pretty darn close, you would expect. Looking for another one as he plays so far forward.
He's just playing so far forward because he can heal up and back away. Art can pocket him, and no one can really touch him right now. There's no Genji Amaken on the Pharah now, but he's taken out by Carpe. There's just no entry point. There's no way in.
Go for the res. The bubble comes down to save Claire's life, or else that hook would have connected. Jonak showing off the accuracy here.
You can see
this pick. Holt coming down. Ooh, this isn't just by a hair, but the right click will be good.
You can see that the only way for him to try to even win the Widow duel is to leap into the sky, but he just is unable to find anything. The barrier's too well placed. Jonak has such a stronghold to back off to, so every single time hook is on cooldown, or off cooldown I should say, every time it's available, he's just going to toss it out to the first available target. His hook accuracy immaculate here. And now Japan has a Primal Rage. That could maybe disrupt the formation.
Shots coming down. Jonak finds another one. Gonna get dead. Right clicks in, weakening Tayo's mech. He'll get healed back up. Kenmo pops that Primal Range. Fluttering off somewhere. Can't see him on our screen. Healdedine comes in, and that's what they need to take down the Roadhog. But can they get the cart moving? Barrage coming in for Libero. Finds one, ends up getting himself killed.
This is the opportunity.
The explosive damage. Self-destruct here from Tayo. Does take down Fate. Can make it to the other side of that barrier, or it had been destroyed. Hard to say, but either way, the cart is going to be moving forward here for pretty much the first time as they get close to point A, but South Korea will have one last attempt to try to halt this. It's Carpe.
No way.
Tries the duelist one out. He's got a sliver of HP. They know he's in there. He's got to die.
Well, he does finally get taken out here. Cart is slowed here by Meko. He's in proximity. South Korea, all they need is one more fight. Supercharger up.
Double comes down. 3 meters left to go here for Japan. Can they do it? Can they get a second lease on life? Put some more time in that bank. Rockets coming in. And again, he only has a barrage set and ready to go. Takes a large amount of damage, though. Has to cut his way back. And the pocket is available. Claire keeping him topped up as he hovers around the sky. With that Valkyrie set, self-destruct going to be invested from Meko. Looking for the pick, and he's going to get 3 of them! Sabagon, Amaken, Kenmo, need I name more? Will all be falling. The rest comes down for one, but Claire gets punished right off the back of that. Whole hog out, Jonak just celebrating, spraying it all over the place, and that is going to be the full hold coming in for South Korea.
Step by step, hook by hook into big blow-up damage here on the side of Jonak. He absolutely dominates the beginning there. It was a bio grenade from Sabagon that took him out in the first place. We're just gonna watch some of these incredible hooks. Namakan, mid-air hook here, taking him out, easy peasy. Meanwhile, dealing with the Diva. By the way, no one's pocketing him. Didn't use his heal yet. NYXL fans here in the crowd, but I mean, he dominated the early part. It was the bio grenade that got them out of the spawn. They had ults. Japan did, but they didn't have a bubble when Meko's self-destruct came through. You have to be on the point when you're in overtime like that, so really well placed self-destruct by Meko.
I would love to see, and I hope that we get the opportunity, I would love to see JJoNak's stats at the end of this for the Roadhog.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely fantastic performance from him. The bio grenade, you have to think, how different would this have been if we just saw that bio grenade hit a little bit early, perhaps?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if
they had gone for that before.
If he can get healed either by self-heal or by Arc's pocketing, that was just non-stop keeping him alive, then maybe they don't even really get out of Spawn. That was the one moment for Sabagat. The Ana swap that he brought out pretty early was very intelligent. It looks like Japan just really wants to stick with what they're comfortable with here, Achilles, and there's no shame in that when you've already lost the series, and
yeah.
We already had Tayo on stage say that that's kind of what they want to look to do here against an opponent that they very much respect. They know that South Korea is the team to beat here. This tournament, Finland came close, but not close enough.
Just want to go for those familiar picks.
Yeah. It's going to be Amikin on the Genji, Depp on the Widow once again.
I mean, pulling off a fuller hold against South Korea on the last match of the day would be a pretty good way to go out.
Oh, I mean,
take one map away.
It would be a hold to remember, shall we say?
Absolutely.
Out the gates, it's going to be JJonak's Roadhog again.
Yep. Seems to be working quite well. I'm hoping that we're going to see some more of this as we go deeper into the Overwatch World Cup. You know, one more day tomorrow. It's looking like South Korea is going to qualify for BlizzCon, so hoping that he's going to stick with this pick as things progress. He's going in for the flank. We'll just go ahead and rejoin over by the card.
Now, this is much easier for Amikin to farm off of. The attacking Roadhog composition he has positional advantage, so he could just look to build up a Dragon Blade already 25% of the way there. But the cart hasn't really been contested yet because they're respecting JJonak. Uh-oh.
Well, Libero finds the hits, he'll get stunned up, but Claire falls too low, has to go ahead and kite back. JJonak pushing forward as the breather up here in a second, almost gets that hook. Disconnect, Sabagat managing to stay alive here for the moment at least as the right clicks come down. Get the sleep in. But the likelihood of killing him is very slim. Libero still just taking these pot shots with the arrows, nearly has the Dragon Strike.
They get him.
Now going to be online, and they do kill him, but it's going to be Tayo. Knocked out, Dragon Strike rolling through.
All resources onto JJonak means there's just no one here now to protect the cart. The fight is won for South Korea. They turn it around. Halt's coming through. This may be the end of it.
And Claire going to be locked in. Amikin going to fall. Self-destruct just to keep them pushed back. South Korea, clean 4-0 comes through in record time, taking the last match of the evening. Team Japan, unfortunately, just couldn't find much ground to stand on.
We'll not see the same happy story that we saw in Australia last year. Not tonight. As South Korea wins in front of the home crowd, has that advantage. And it's JJonak who comes up big on the Roadhog there to close it all out on the fourth map. Great plays by Team Japan across the board, though, I think, and they played to their strengths, and unfortunately their strengths don't match up well against Carpe when he's on the Widow. They don't match up well against the formations that we talked about that South Korea has used and played against in Overwatch League very extensively. And it's just a dominant victory here. No points, 4 zeros across the board for Japan.
Yeah, very unfortunate scoreline to look at there if you are a Team Japan fan. But if you're a fan of Team South Korea, looking good.
Looking good, undefeated.
This whole thing right here is very nice.
Yeah, I'm on the wrong side of it.
Yeah, you are. You're on the losing side.
I am indeed. But
I'm over here. I have the victory.
I think we're all winners in this Incheon group stage with South Korea playing well against the crowd. They have that defender's advantage, like the home field advantage, I should say, for the first time in a group stage. And they're playing really well when the crowd's cheering for them. And for Japan, I think we saw a lot more out of this team. I think a lot of people were expecting. And they're not done with this group stage by any means just yet. But with this loss, with this loss, they won't be able to jump up to where South Korea, Russia, and Finland are. So it's a tough loss for them to take. They needed to win this, and they weren't able to get a single map.
Yeah, still some games to be played. They want to bounce back. They want to get that victory because, again, they have to ride forward into that contender-specific final and try to close it out. Getting defeated here could be really rough for them, so hopefully they can get some momentum back and then just transition that into their contenders match. But guys, let's go ahead, throw over to the floor and hear from the players from South Korea.
All right, Golden Boy down here at the stage with the entirety of Team South Korea after their dominating victory against Team Japan. And of course, joined by Arc, my incredible translator and darn good support player as well. Arc, congratulations on the victory. You guys are playing some fantastic Overwatch. You said you wanted to be undefeated and mission accomplished. How did you feel that game went for you guys and Team South Korea?
I think it's kind of early to be happy because we have a match tomorrow to be with Russia.
Oh, cool. That fair. Have you guys prepped for Russia? Any player in particular that you are concerned about on that team, or you don't want to give anything away?
Actually, I want to give a fact that we're actually looking carefully for the mistakes. He's playing really good.
Yeah, no, he's having a great tournament so far. Totally understandable. But now that we have more members of Team South Korea here, I would like to give them an opportunity to say something to the fans here and also to people at home cheering them on. So the stage is yours, guys. Carpe. Let me ask him a question. How about this? Carpe, are you the best Widowmaker, period?
당연히 저죠.
He's sure he is. No doubt.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. And, Ark said it's going to be, you guys are going to try and be as perfect as possible. You guys have a big matchup against Russia tomorrow. Are you guys, anyone in particular that you are excited to go up against in Team Russia tomorrow?
이것도 당연히 섀도우본이랑 하는 게 재밌을 것 같아요. 원래 팀이었는데 이렇게 다시 경기하면 되게
So, because Shadowburn was in his team, Philadelphia Fusion, he is really happy to meet him in the match.
Okay, all right, that's going to be exciting. And any final words for all of you guys? Anything you guys want to say to the fans here at home?
마지막 말.
Go for it, come on. You got it, Jonak.
팬분들 이 무더운 날씨에 와주셔서 정말 감사하고 자 응원 덕분에 지금 4승 잘 되고 있는 것 같고 내일도 이겨서 전승 무조건 하겠습니다.
All the audience, thanks for coming in this hot weather. And because of you guys cheering, we could have accomplished the 4 wins in a row. And we're going to try our best in tomorrow's match.
All right, well, that's going to do it for me here, guys. Thank you so much. Guys, give it up, Team South Korea! All right, we're going to go ahead and send it over to the casters to break it all down and take us home.
Thank you very much, Golden Boy. We're not going home yet. We still have one more day. We're not going to take you home yet. And also, you live pretty far away. I live in Korea, so I don't know if I want to have to escort you there.
I mean, also,
But-
he hasn't had, before we could break it down, Achilles has to finish building his sound barrier.
That's
He's only
true.
about 85% right now, so, we're getting there.
Here comes the ha-ha spam in Twitch. It's going to be great. But, I mean, good God. I mean, good to hear from, multiple players from South Korea, not just Ark there, doing the translation work. So, truly the MVP of the interview there. But Carpe, you heard it. He is the #1 Widowmaker in the world. He has declared it.
Yeah, and he said,
Who will dethrone him?
he said literally, of course I am. Before we talk about this any further, I think we're going to take a look at the fan polls to hear what you guys have been saying across the world about this match we just watched.
I can imagine, Jonak doing Jonak things. That's
Indeed.
exactly what we saw, especially there on that Temple of Anubis, getting the shutdown onto the Dragon Blade.
I think everyone is saying it now. They played so well there on the defense, especially Chonak with the Roadhog. So, yeah, I mean, it's just a total smashing there, unfortunately, at the very end of things.
I thought we had another one. I was like, oh, what's it going to be? It's me.
They're all the
It's me
same.
instead.
They're like, Jonak's amazing, and we just continue through.
They put us back on. They want to know what my tweet is. I haven't made it yet.
Yeah, I just
I
drafted
wait until
mine.
after the game, but it's okay. All right, guys, it was a very quick series. So it might have just been so fast that you didn't really register anything. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the replays. Try to recreate and remember what exactly happened and what transpired in this match.
Yeah, we started things off on Control on Nepal.
I don't even remember this happening.
Well, we didn't see the first-person view of it, which might have been a good thing. It's not safe for work, but watch this. And the mines come through.
And you're done.
It's so impressive he's able to sneak his way into that tiny choke point as well with the swing in.
You say sneak, he inserted himself into that room.
Okay,
He's
I'm
like,
just saying.
and I'm here now.
He threaded the needle, okay? He got in there into that tight space, and then he pressed Q, and everybody died.
Yeah, I mean, the survivability here. Peyton Mecco, dangerously low, no healing coming through. Managed to survive, and Libero just shutting it all down. Triple kill coming through off the Riptire. It was just some disgusting antics from South Korea.
I mean, when you watch this highlight reel of Carpe, we have to add the asterisk that, like, they had to tag onto the point, so Carpe was able to do these shoot the fish in the barrel moves, but, you know, the accuracy is there when it needs to be, is making him come back in. He's got the Discord orb there.
We know that even in those situations, he can still deliver on the headshots.
This is
gonna
the
be
one.
The shutdown. An awkward dash away for Anakin there, but yeah, Jonik just ball to the face.
You know, I have to feel like the reason he dashed in that direction was to give a false sense of security, because it was a little bit weird, right? But, you know, a lot of players, I think, in that moment think, well, he's going for someone else. I'm actually safe, but
Trying to zigzag his way in.
yeah, but he did have the, you know, the right click ready for him and just totally shut that down.
Yeah, it actually might have been the Mercy dashing towards Jonik while he was dashing towards the Mercy. So it could have just been you know, ships passing in the night, and then he tried to reroute, and that's when Jonik happened.
Unfortunately,
And this is also when Jonik happened.
yeah, unfortunately for Amik, Jonik just said no to a bunch of his Dragon Blades here in this series.
There was a lot of Jonik in those last two maps, especially. Is basically the TLD didn't watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
TL didn't watch, yeah.
Yeah, TL didn't watch.
Okay, but look, that was the
EW.
final moment there for South Korea to get the defense there. Mecco with the blow up. And now, you know, we just see the end there. It's
Nice zoom in on Anakin's Genji Bud.
yeah, I mean, it's one of those replay segments where if you're a Japan fan, you're probably alt tabbing a little bit. You might want to. They might want to
Probably turn the stream off after game one.
It was a one-sided series.
Yeah.
But they had their moments. They had really good ideas with compositions. They were just shut down mechanically by the team of South Korea.
Yeah, and I mean, it's unfortunate. Japan in their first match out, they did look so promising, getting that win. I believe it was versus Russia on Oasis.
Yeah,
I wanna
that's
say-
right, the
okay,
control map.
There we go. It was only a day ago. Hey, my memory's looking great. So yeah, I mean, they looked so promising to start the tournament all for themselves, and then it just kind of went downhill. It was such a nice peak, and then it kind of dropped off a cliff. But, you know, unfortunate for them. Let's go ahead and take a look at the results overall here on the day, guys, as we take a peek. So 4-0 for South Korea to start the day, and a 4-0 to end it.
Yeah, Finland.
And some stuff happened in between.
Sure. Finland decides to show us another exciting series. It's not
Yes.
quite a reverse sweep what we saw there, but they were able to bring it back on King's Row, then tied it up, and were able to take the win there in the end. So very impressive run back from them.
Yeah, if you guys missed that series, highly recommend going to check the VOD out for that one. Really, really great. But what does this do to the standings, Wolf? Let's go ahead and find out. South Korea in a very commanding lead, plus 13, lossless here so far.
So in order to pass South Korea, someone will, of course, have to defeat South Korea, their final match tomorrow. And I believe that's Russia. Then whichever, it will have to be Russia who defeats them, who then passes them or ties them in map differential. So it's a long road for Russia to take that first place spot. So South Korea basically guaranteed BlizzCon at this point. For Japan, they dropped down to second to last with the 1-2 -4 scoreline. And Hong Kong, of course, is definitely out there at the -16, unfortunately, for that region.
We'll go ahead and take a look at the schedule for tomorrow. See what matches we have for you guys to close out the Incheon Group stage. And it's actually going to be us. We're gonna look at us.
We're coming back tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. So that's what we were talking about. This is the schedule right here, baby. There's gonna be more of this. Actually, we only cast one game. There's gonna be almost none of this. But now we will go ahead and take a look at tomorrow's schedule. Get that up on your screen so you guys know what matches you want to tune into. And of course, it's gonna be all of them. Okay, Japan and Finland is gonna kick us off. We're actually gonna be fed it to us.
I'll get the next one. Chinese Taipei, Russia will be the next one, around 2.
Now my turn. Hong Kong and Japan.
Russia, South Korea.
Chinese Taipei and Finland. That's going to be the schedule. It's on some websites. You can also check it out there. Go to overwatchworldcup.com. I don't know if that's what it is. But they have the schedule there. I guarantee it.
There's a lot of ways. Just, you know, you use that Google button and look up Overwatch World Cup 2018.
Exactly. Or Bing. We don't discriminate. You know, you can go with whatever search engine you want. Ask Jeeves.
Yahoo.com.
If you want to use that as well. You got plenty of options. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. That is the end of the second day. One more remains. South Korea pretty much poised to be going to BlizzCon, but Finland and Russia still vying for it. We'll find out which one of them is going to be going when we come back tomorrow. Same place, same time. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see your lovely faces back tomorrow.